This podcast is intended for adult audiences over the age of 18. It contains adult language and situations. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast belong solely to us, and not of any employer, organization, committee, or other group or individuals. This podcast is not intended to be taken as professional advice.
Welcome to the SwingNation podcast, a podcast by swingers for swingers, where we look to educate others and push back on the negative stigmas and misconceptions associated with our lifestyle. Come with us and share our pineapple journey as we travel the globe, interview the experts, learn and grow together. Join the nation. So Lacy, people are asking, how do they get to go to a party or an event with us?
They check out swingersociety.net, you create a profile, you sign up for an event, and you come hang out with us. It's super easy.
That's right. If you want to party with us and the other faces and names that you know from social media and TikTok, head on over to swingersociety.net.
Can't wait to see you there.
Hey there, pineapple people, and welcome to the SwingNation podcast. We are your hosts, Northern Guy
And Southern Girl.
and today we are back with another episode. And for this episode, we're going to do a recap of our takeover of Club Colette in Dallas, Texas.
Correct.
And this was our Wings and Waves takeover. And what was Friday night was Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So lots of pilots and flight attendants, a very sexy theme, one of my personal favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday was Shipwrecked, which was like pirates and mermaids and
captains.
there were some people that did what's the Wilson, Castaway, Castaway, is that the name of the movie?
Yeah, Castaway. Yeah.
Yeah, so lots of good themes.
Yeah, it was
a
fun.
good themed weekend, I thought.
It was, yeah. It was good.
Okay. So we are a ways away from Dallas, Texas.
We are. And we have a big trailer with a lot of stuff.
And everybody always asks us, we got asked us a bunch, did you guys fly here? It's like, no, we didn't fly because we had to bring all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So we have our merch booth, tent and setup and all the merchandise. We have a 360 camera. We have audio equipment. We got lights. We got all kinds of stuff that we bring. Backdrops that we bring to these events.
Mm-hmm.
So not as much as like a secrets event, but still quite a bit of stuff ends up coming down for a takeover event.
Yeah. So we had to drive. It was an all day. I think it was like a 10-hour drive, but it ended up taking more time because we were hauling our trailer. And so it was just a long, long day in the car.
Yeah. I don't think we got into Dallas till it's after midnight. I think it was probably almost 2:00 by the time I put my head down on a pillow.
Yeah. And when we got to the hotel, there was fire trucks everywhere. And we were like, well, first of all, we didn't realize we were staying like downtown Dallas because we don't usually pick the hotels.
Right.
We just get the link and it says they tell us to book it. And so we book it. And I didn't realize we were in the middle of downtown. So then we were like, crap, what do we do with the trailer? We had to like get into Colette, park the trailer there like at 1 a.m. And then by the time we got to the hotel, the elevators were broke. And so the fire department was there. So there was like the fire trucks and lights. And we were just like, oh, we just wanted to get to bed. But eventually we got there.
Yes.
And crashed out.
And that was our Thursday.
No, that was our Wednesday.
Or Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes, that was our Wednesday.
Like 12 hours of driving and then unloading trailers and then parking in a parking garage, but my truck barely fits in. And then fire departments and then bed.
Yes. It was a nice hotel. We had a good time. That was a good place to stay.
It was a really nice hotel.
Yeah.
The whole time I was thinking this would be a good place for a hotel takeover.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the name of the hotel was, but it was a good hotel in Dallas. Okay, so Thursday, we were getting there early. We normally set up the club like the night before.
Right. So if we're doing a takeover on Friday, Saturday,
Mhm.
we would go in on Thursday and decorate the club.
Yeah.
But the unique thing about Colette is they are open, I think, Wednesday to Sunday or something
Yeah.
like that. So when we got there on Thursday or Wednesday, the club was already open and there was
Yes.
people there. So we can't go in and decorate because the club was still going. So we had to wait until Friday before our event to actually go and decorate.
But so we basically had all of Thursday to kind of do whatever we wanted to do because we couldn't set up till Friday. So I scheduled an OnlyFans collab, which if you followed us for a while, I try not to do them in the middle of events. It's just too much going on. We have too much responsibility. But both couples that I scheduled collabs with, we played with before. We know, like it was easy, so it wasn't anything like awkward, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I will say, so since your parents have gotten sick, we've done less collabs, but the collabs that we have done have been more with our friends. And I
Yeah.
actually have genuinely liked that.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we haven't really had to go like meet new people and try to see if there was chemistry to see if we wanted to collab.
Hmm.
We've been doing a lot of collabs with friends that we've had for years, and even some friends that we've had for years that we haven't collabed with before.
Yeah.
And that was the case in this scenario.
Correct. We had played with both couples multiple times, so it was kind of easy, and they were all coming. So I kind of always handle that. We've had people ask, "How do you do collabs?" Typically, it's me. I will kind of take the lead and message people, and obviously, I'm going to run it by you before I start messaging people. But typically, I would reach out to the wife and say, "Hey, we want to do this. What are your thoughts? Or is this something you're interested in?" So our first one Thursday was with Southern Bella and Fire Daddy. So they were flying in at like 8:30 that morning. So we were planning to do around noon. Well, they got to the hotel and he opened his suitcase and realized it was not his suitcase. It was someone else's. And he like panicked because apparently he had a bunch of like Jordans or something in there. So come to find out, another guy had the exact same suitcase. So he had gotten the other guys and they had swapped. So they had to track down this bag and switch bag, which honestly, lucky. I'm glad they got that's
I'm impressed that they were able to find their bag.
me
Yeah.
too, for
But they
sure.
did spend a good portion of the day doing that.
Yes. And so by the time they got back and got settled and everything, it wasn't until like 3 o'clock when we started, which honestly was fine by me because we were just lazy in bed. We had gotten in so late. So I didn't have any issues with it. So we finally got started. We took pictures. I always will now think of that couple. We met a couple and where was it? It was at Tempted. They said they liked the way I say pictures.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know why.
I missed that. I didn't know.
Every time I say pictures now, I'm going to think of them. So we took pictures. We did not make TikToks, which I kind of regretted, but we were a little bit short on time because we had dinner plans. So we just kind of had to kind of move along through it. And she had brought all of this like leathery BDSM like lingerie for us to wear. I don't have a lot of that. That's kind of not my style or my typical go-to, would you say?
No, yeah, no, it was latex.
Oh, latex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not leather. It was made out of latex.
Leatherish kind of
Yeah.
material. And it was fucking hot.
That red outfit that you had on is probably one of my favorite outfits I've seen you in a while.
Yeah. So if you go to our Instagram, you can find the pictures of her. And she had these, and she just happened like we wore the same size. We had the same size shoe. She had these black boots. So I was like dressed head to toe in her clothes. And it was some pretty hot photos. And then for our content, her husband and her fucked me.
Yeah, you basically were their unicorn.
Yes. And it was really hot.
And I was the camera guy.
You were.
And he has a giant dick.
He does.
Which you're a big fan of.
Uh-huh.
And so, and I actually came up with this idea. I was like, I think it would be hot if you got on top of him and rode his dick while she licked you.
Yeah.
And so like he got up on the edge of the bed. She got kind of down on her knees between your legs.
And I was like reverse cowgirl.
You were reverse cowgirling him while she was licking your vagina, which is, I don't know if we've ever even done that before, but it was pretty hot. Both in real life and on camera.
Yes, it was very hot. So that's what we did. And that was, and we fucked for a good while. So that was pretty much that scene. And then we reversed it. And was it just you and her or?
It was me, him, and her.
Okay. So you, him, and her.
Yeah.
And that was hot.
It was hot.
What all y'all do? I can't remember. I recorded.
It was just a MFM threesome.
Yeah.
So, she didn't do any like DVP or anything crazy, but no, we just, she sucked both our dicks. And then
I
we took
remember.
turns fucking her, and
yeah, that's cool. So anyway, it was super hot video. You've even edited some of that, and so it's out on our OnlyFans. If like shameless plug, if you are subscribed or if you want to go check it out, you can see it. But after that was done, we basically had to like throw clothes on and go to dinner. We went to dinner. I would say probably about 20 of us, would you say?
I don't, yeah, ish. Yeah.
We went to this very fancy part of Texas. We were in Dallas, or fancy part of Dallas. I guess I didn't realize Dallas was so fancy.
They got some oil money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's some people there making some money. Yeah. So we pulled into this, I don't know what you'd call it, like a almost like a strip mall,
Yeah, but
a
not a strip
fancy,
mall. Yeah.
fancy strip
It's
mall.
like complex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was like Gucci,
Yeah.
Versace, all these fancy Versace's. I don't know, is that a word? That's not even wrong.
Versace.
Versace, yeah.
Yeah.
All these fancy places to go shopping that I didn't let Lacey go. And there was a Mexican restaurant. And then we actually met Devin and Nicole, which
Yes.
is the lesbian couples. I don't know who all was there. There's a bunch of people.
There was a lot. Dirty D that works for us was there. Buffy and Dwayne, who's been on the podcast, or who we've talked about. There was a lot of people that were there.
But the purpose of it was we were celebrating Dwayne's birthday. Dwayne's birthday seemed to be a thing all weekend.
Well, it was actually Saturday night. So his birthday, well, I mean, it was Sunday. So Saturday night at midnight, we were singing happy birthday, but it was his birthday. And then Mandy, who works for us, her birthday was that Wednesday. And she was there without her husband because he had to stay home just because she had to come work. And so we kind of celebrated both of their birthdays the whole weekend, but Mandy didn't fly in until late. So she was not there.
Yes.
So yeah, a good group, very good Mexican. We had to wait a little while for dinner, but it was very good. I had a great time.
Agreed.
So after that, we went to Cowboys, Red River Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys Red River. And then, so if you remember, we actually went to Colette, Dallas 2 years ago, I think it was. And I think it was Friday night we went to this club, which is like a
line dancing.
No, it's not line. It's two-step.
Two-step.
Club.
Yeah.
And I don't really know the difference, but I know the difference is instead of a square dance floor, it has a circle racetrack dance floor.
Yeah, Dan has called it a racetrack for 2 years.
What else would you call it?
Because people are moving in a circle. Yeah.
Yeah, they're dancing in a circle around the racetrack.
This bar/club, whatever you call it, it's really fun. Like it's a lot of fun. Like if we lived there, I would want to go all the time.
It's a huge bar.
Yeah.
It has like 4 or 5 bars within the bar. They had live music, and then they would do the live music for a while, and then they would like cut to a DJ, and they would DJ for a while, and then they'd cut back to the live music. And the music was good, the DJ was good. In the place, this was Thursday night, mind you. The place was packed.
Oh, completely. Like you couldn't like move in there. The line to ride the bull was like probably an hour long. I mean, it was really packed. And what's really cool is, so Buffy had tried to book the VIP for his birthday, for Dwayne's birthday, and she had called, and then I think she booked online, and then it ended up charging her double. And then we got there, we got the lady, and we were like, we just need a place to like put our stuff. Can we go to the stage? There's like a stage, like a VIP off to the stage, and we asked like, can we purchase that? So it ended up working out that we were able to book that, and it worked great because otherwise we would have had no place to put our stuff or anything. And
yes, totally worth it.
We're not 20 anymore, where we just have like a little bag. Like I needed a place to put my drink and stuff. So it worked out really good. And it wasn't a huge crowd of us there because you could tell it was a Thursday. Most everybody was coming in on Friday.
Right.
But there was enough of us to have a good time.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
We kept it, appropriate for a vanilla bar, but there was definitely lots of flirting and dancing, and I think I saw some people kissing not their spouse and things like that.
And Mandy got a strip like show. Jorge, who is from like DJs at Tempted Some, he's from that area. He came with Mandy, and he was like soliciting people to give her lap dances. And so all the people kept coming up and giving her lap. Dwayne gave her a lap dance at one point.
I don't know where these random. I did not. No, I refrained. I tried to follow our strict HR policy and not do that. But I think she was sitting in my lap at some point.
Yeah.
I did not dance on her.
And then another group joined the VIP, and it was said like happy bachelorette, but I don't think they were actually getting married. I think they were just.
I don't know what they were celebrating.
I don't know what they were celebrating.
But it was pretty funny. So I didn't realize. I thought that whole VIP area was ours, but apparently it's like 2 or 3 VIP spaces. But we had basically taken up the whole thing at this point. And then this it seemed like it was two girls at
Yeah.
first, but then some guys ended up coming up. But anyway, they were actually super friendly,
Mhm.
and our people ended up starting to talk to them. And by the end of the night, they were partying with us like
Oh, yeah.
completely.
For sure. They're like, we're coming to Colette's, and one guy used to be a swinger. He had a new girlfriend.
He had listened. He said he knew us,
Oh,
the
that's
podcast.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they were really nice.
I ended up spanking one of the girls. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. And I ended up we took a picture on her phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So that's how the night went.
Yeah, it was good. I never really got drunk or anything. I've stayed pretty sober. I don't know how,
Yeah.
but it was a blast. I had a good time, and then I think about midnight we left.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of tired. It had been a long day. We went back to the hotel and kind of like passed out. The cool thing about the hotel is um Southern Bella had called and got everybody that was there with swingers say that we knew of anyway on the same floor. So it was pretty nice because everybody was kind of like
Basically
right there
next to each other.
together. Yeah, right there together. So that was this. I mean, we didn't do anything super spicy or anything Friday night.
You know, if spanking random strangers that are not swingers is not spicy. Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
and making porn during the day.
Yeah.
Totally not a spicy day.
That was a pretty chill day, actually.
Yeah. But that was our Thursday. So we kind of knew we had to go kind of easy because the next few nights were going to be super busy.
All right. And that brings us to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You had something else planned for us on Friday.
Yeah, so this time we collab with Buffy and Dwayne. Y'all have heard us talk about them. We met them actually in Dallas 2 years ago. And what's funny is me and her were chatting. That was like, I think when I don't know if they had been in us a whole long time, but they were going by different names at the time. And her cup said Gina.
Yes.
And we were like, we called her Gina the
On
whole
the
night.
podcast. Yeah.
And then we called her Gina on the podcast.
Yes.
And she was like, no, that's not my name. So it was kind of like a joke all weekend that it was our anniversary.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't remember if he went by anything other than, I just remember Gina.
He's now Mr. Buffy.
No, he's not Mr. Buffy. So we had scheduled to collab with them. Like I said, we've played with them a lot over the years. And I think they just recently joined OnlyFans.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think it's more of just a hobby for them. I don't know
yeah.
how, like, it doesn't seem like they're really like trying to be like OnlyFans creators. I think.
No, they work full-time jobs. I think
Yeah.
they just do it for fun, which I mean, we did the same thing until
For sure. Yeah.
until I no longer had a job.
Yeah. And
And
the
then
interesting point is both of these couples had not collabed on OnlyFans with another couple yet, right?
Yeah, it was both.
So we
both
popped
first
their
time.
OnlyFans cherries.
We
And
did.
for doing that, for both of these couples, they were pretty, they were better. You know, a lot of people get nervous and they, you know, sometimes there's like some performance anxiety. All these people knocked it out of the park.
I think the fact that we
When
know
Dwayne was fucking you, I was recording and he was literally like kind of moving to the side so I could get the camera in there and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, my first collab, sure. Like,
well, I woke up late and I text Buffy and I was like, so we don't have to do 12 if you don't want to. She's like, oh no, I'm almost ready. I blew dry my hair. And I'm like in the bed with my makeup on from the night before. I'm like, fuck, okay. So I get up and I'm glad she said that because I needed to get my ass out of bed.
Yeah.
I was just trying to be lazy. So I hopped up and got ready and they came to the room. Yeah. So we made TikToks, we took pictures, and then we did 2 videos. I think the first one was just me and Dwayne.
the first video, yeah, I think.
And then the second video was you, Dwayne, and Buffy.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how we chose which we did, but
Well, it's the nice thing when you do a couple swap, so there's only 4 people, it is nice to have a cameraman, so to speak. So the videos come out better when there's a camera that's kind of moving throughout the scene and like getting all the good stuff, other than just a stationary camera. So I think I had suggested, hey, if you guys don't mind, you know, can we kind of switch things up so that, you know, somebody can record and kind of catch everything. And so I don't know, you know, people always like 2 dicks and 1 girl. That's like, that sells. You would think it would be like girl on girl, but or at least for our platform, whenever Lacy has 2 guys or there's 2 guys and a girl, that content, gangbangs and multiple dicks, people love that content.
you dirty people.
At least on our page. Yeah.
So after we got done with that, we were all starving because we hadn't ate anything that day. So I think we were like, we want Texas food. So somehow we ended up at a barbecue place, and I do not know the name, but it was very good.
So good.
Yeah, it wasn't very far from the hotel, but it was delicious. Like I could have ate there again before the weekend was up.
Agreed.
It was very good. But I had like the turkey. I think you had the brisket. It was perfection. So after we got done with that, we came back and kind of started getting ready for the club. I can't remember what time we had to be there, but it was early.
I think we got there at like 5 or something.
Yes, because Dan and I had to
5:36. It was something like that.
Yeah, we had to film the YouTube tour. So if you're first time listening, we do YouTube tours of all the clubs that we go to that will allow us. So that way you can see what the inside of a swinger club looks like. For me, I feel like if I've never been somewhere before, if I can visually see it, it makes it a little less intimidating.
Yeah, all these clubs have a little bit different rules, like
Mhm.
on, if can you bring your own alcohol? And if you do bring your own alcohol, do they have mixers? Do you have to pay for mixers? Is there seating? Is it reserved seating? Should you get there early to get a seat? There's all these little different things, like, is there lockers? And, do you pay for a lock? They're all different.
Yeah.
Where can you wear clothes? Where can you not wear clothes? What time of day can you, so being able to walk people through the club and explain all the rules of that club
Mhm.
is different. Like, so one of the unique things about Colette is they do the red light and the blue light thing,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So single males are allowed every day but Saturday, but they can't go into rooms that have blue lights on them. So
Mhm.
that's very unique. So, like, things like that I think are being able to explain that all ahead of time. And like you said, just being able to visualize what the club looks like
Yeah.
ahead of time is very useful, I think, for people.
Yeah, and we wanted to knock that tour out before our people got there and started decorating. So that's what we did. And then after we got done with that tour, and you could check that tour out on YouTube, just search TheSwingNation. They'll all pop up. So after that, our employees and like we have a group of people that come with us that will help. So shout out to all of you, and they're different for every location. Like it just depends on who's coming. But we always have amazing people around us that volunteer and come and help, and we couldn't do it without you. So
Some of
shout
our,
out.
I think I'd call them like our core members, like,
Yeah.
like some
Mhm.
of the OGs and some of
Yeah.
the people that just have been around for a while and
Yes.
gone through all the events. They always offer to help.
And
And
it's
honestly, it wouldn't be possible
no.
without them. So thank you. If you helped
Mhm.
us decorate and set up at Colette that weekend, we really appreciate you
Very
guys.
much so.
You're rock stars.
So they all came in and started setting up, and I don't know what you were doing, but for me, I was making some TikToks because I needed to make some like around the club. Those are the TikToks that y'all see where I'm like peeking in the windows, looking at the beds or whatever. I was doing some of that. I did pause at some point and go and help set up the merch table because I felt like, people were getting stressed out or there's just a lot going on. So I was like, let me kind of take the weight off. So I came in and helped during some of that. What all were you doing?
Similar things. I think.
Did I put you on the spot?
Well, no.
What were you doing, sir?
We set up the first half an hour was where are we going to put everything?
Yeah.
So Club Colette is a big club, but we brought in a 360 camera, we put in a second photo booth, we decorated. Sometimes we move the DJ where they set up. So just kind of figuring out where we were going to put everything and working with the management to kind of figure all that out was the first part of the night. And then it was actually doing it. So I set up a 360 camera and made sure we had all the audio equipment we needed to plug into their system with our DJ controllers and stuff like that. Just all the little stuff, babe.
Yeah. And then DJ Love the Spice got there. He DJ'd for us, which was awesome. We love when he can make it out. He killed it like normal. So yeah, I made a few more TikToks once I changed into my outfit. So for this theme, I have to give a shout out to a friend of mine. She knows who she is, but we were at Hito last year, and it was a flight. Y'all probably remember I wore like the Top Gun outfit, and she had on like blue lingerie and like a scarf tied around her neck, and then was a flight attendant. I thought that was so cute, and it was simple because she had just had lingerie on. And I was like, gonna save that one day, I'll use it. And so that's what I did. And then you just wore a flight suit thinking, oh, that'll be easy. I'll be comfortable.
Me and like every other guy that showed up that night wore like a Top Gun flight suit.
Yes. But
which I don't care. The thing was comfortable. It was great. I know everybody can have the same outfit on as me. I'm not going to care one bit, especially if it's a jumpsuit.
Yeah. It was funny. It's like as people were seeing each other, they're like, oh shit.
It was off of Amazon though.
It
so
was.
it's pretty,
Yeah.
it's not surprising.
So then, yeah, it was time to open. It was it was busy, but it wasn't very busy. Saturday night was very busy. Saturday night, there was like no room to move.
Mm.
Friday night was comfortably busy.
I think there was like 300 people there. So, I mean, it
No,
was busy.
it was busy, but it wasn't like shoulder to shoulder.
Because Colette is such a big club. I mean,
Mhm.
that crowd would have sold out like a Red Room Nashville.
Yeah.
Just the Friday night crowd.
Yeah.
Like, but because Colette is so big, it was very comfortable
Yeah.
with that amount of people. And yes, I've said this 100 times and I'll say it again. When we do club takeovers, Friday nights are always my favorite night because there's usually a good crowd.
Mhm.
It's always a fun crowd,
Mhm.
but you're not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
There's room on the dance floor. There's room in the playrooms. You can walk, there's room to kind of, you're not constantly scooting past people to move. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I love Friday nights. So, if you get overwhelmed in big crowds and you still want to come to one of our events, please come out on a Friday.
Yeah.
Come both nights, but Friday nights specifically.
If you're new and maybe just like a little nervous,
We get more time to talk to
Yeah.
everybody. I feel like we get to know people better on
Mhm.
Friday nights than we do Saturday because Saturday is just chaos.
Yeah. So I had an incident that we need to talk about. So first of all, there was a single guy on the dance floor that was kind of being a menace. Somebody had already said something about him being like aggressively dancing. Well, then we're all out there dancing, and somebody comes up to me and says, "That guy's on FaceTime."
Yes.
So I grabbed it. I mean, I didn't put my hands on him, but I was like, "Hey, you hang that up right now."
You can't be on.
Yeah, I was like, "You cannot be on FaceTime in here." He's like, "Oh," and I was like, "No, hang it up right now." And he did. He hung it up immediately. And I went and told security. I said, "Hey, this guy on the dance floor was on FaceTime. I asked him to turn it off. He did. He did comply, but I just wanted to let someone
Somebody
know."
know, yeah.
And I did see security.
Came up and
Security
talked to him.
was wonderful. Let me just say this. They came up, they talked to him. I'm sure they warned him, like you do it again. If we see it again, you're out. So probably like 30 minutes later, wasn't a whole lot of time. They were doing, was it like whipped cream shots or
Somebody had
something?
one of those, vodka infused
Mhm.
whipped cream bottles.
Which, if you've been around, I am weird about people doing shots off of me, on me, but what happens is I start drinking or start having fun, and then next thing I know, I do it, and then what I get worried about is if we're at a club and then I put whipped cream on my boobs and I let one person lick it off, then the person behind them is going to be like, "Well, what about me?" Well, if I'm not into that person, I don't want to like hurt their feelings, and I've messed up by like licking shots off people at the bar at Secrets, and like I try to remember that like
If I do this once,
if I do this once, people will line up, and that sounds a little conceited, but unfortunately, that's just where
Yeah.
we are now. It just is. So I normally don't allow that, but for some reason, I was like, okay. So they squirted whipped cream on my boobs, and was it JC? I think it was JC and Dwayne, maybe.
yeah, Dwayne. I know Dwayne was there for sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure who the other person was. That's awful. Anyway, so I kind of like lifted up, like put my boobs up for them to lick it off. And all of a sudden, that single guy puts his head in the middle and licks the whipped cream off of me. And almost as quickly as I saw it, Dwayne caught it and
Snagged
like
him up. Yeah.
and snagged, and he was very respectful of the guy, but very firm. And
Did the guy ever even touch you though? Like
Yeah, oh,
before?
yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought Dwayne got to him before.
No. His tongue was on my body.
Yeah.
And so he like removed him. And I was like, oh my God. So I removed myself. And Dwayne was like, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. And so I went and I said, hey, told security, I was like, hey, that same guy just like licked whipped cream off my titties. He did not have consent, and it was like something from TV. They were searching that club. They were like checking out everywhere.
Yeah, they went because he like disappeared.
We have no idea where he went.
Right. So then they started a manhunt for this guy.
Yeah, and they were so sweet. And I was like, I wasn't upset by any means. I mean, like, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to that. Like, if you're gonna walk in the crowd, your ass is gonna get tabbed, where things are gonna. But like when you put your tongue on my titties,
Well, and he like jumped in between
Yes.
the guys that were clearly doing it.
It
Like,
wasn't like he like wait.
I will say he seemed like he was too intoxicated.
Yes. It wasn't like he was in line and then got up there and licked him really quick after. Like he put his head in the middle of these other people.
Yeah.
So finally we're getting ready to go to the playroom, and he comes walking up to me and he's like, "Hey, where are we doing?" I was like, "You're coming with me." And he was like, "Yeah, let's go." And so I'm like walking this guy up to the front of the club, not to the back where you fuck. I walk him up and like I handed him to the security guard. I was like, "Here he is." And they're like, "You're out. You got to go." Like, what an idiot. He just walked right up to
Yeah.
But of course, they threw him out. But
Lacy escorted him to security.
yeah,
The security
like,
escorted
Colette
him out.
does not fuck around when it comes to security.
No.
Like, not only that, they were wonderful to me and took care of him as quickly as it happened. And I told the manager and I thanked them all. But just watching them interact with other people, if anybody was remotely out of line, they were gone immediately.
I think they kicked out 4 or 5 people on Friday night. Now, I will say, so that's the catch-22, right? So Friday nights, they allow single males, and there was quite a few of them. Most of them were well-behaved, but there was a few bad apples, and they very quickly got it kicked out.
Yeah. I don't really think that guy was a lifestyle guy. I think he was just
sightseeing, so to speak.
Yeah, basically. But after that, we it was like the perfect segue to the playroom. So we went to our favorite circle bed that we
did. Yeah.
we've loved. We've played there before. We knew we were. So there was a super sweet couple that we had met earlier in the evening. They were in there by themselves, and the sign on the door says, "You cannot, this is a group area. Like, you can be in there by yourselves, but if other people come in, you have to share. And you also can't just stand there either. Like, if you're in the room, you're supposed to be playing or, maybe drawing or what, you know."
So the circle bed is a giant circle bed in the middle of this room, but the room is walled off, but all the walls have windows. So it's kind of like what you call a fishbowl room, right? Where people can stand outside the glass and they can look in. And like Lacy's saying, everybody that's inside of that room is at least somewhat engaged in what's going on.
Step back for a break, but you need to be an active participant.
Right. And it is a public room. So anybody can go into that room. But obviously, if the bed is full of people, before you get next to, you have to ask before if you're going to touch somebody, even if incidentally, you kind of need to ask permission.
So this sweet couple who were listeners, who were very sweet, are on the bed, and we, I was like, "Hey, can we join y'all? Is that okay?" They're like, "Sure." And we're like, "Are we sure?" You could tell that they were, I don't know if they've been in Lasso for a while. I don't know that they're
and they were putting on a hell of a show. I feel bad for interrupting them.
I don't know their story, but they seem to be really into each other or really focused there. And so I was like, "We won't touch. We'll just play right here next to you. You're more than welcome to stay or join in if you want."
Yeah. They stopped. We stopped them. Essentially, they stopped doing what they do, and they hung out for a little while. And then
they ended up bouncing. But we saw them for the whole rest of the night. And did they come to Saturday? I can't remember. But I every time I'd see them, I was like, "I'm sorry. Did I run you off?" They're like, "No, it was great. We enjoyed the show." So they were really sweet. But we ended up taking over the bed, And because it was Dwayne and Mandy's birthday, we started out with coconut oil massages on them. So we've done this in the past, but basically you put them in the middle of the bed and they kind of close their eyes. You can blindfold them if you wanted to, and then everybody kind of lubes up, and the girls touch Dwayne, the girls and the guys touch Vandy, and you just have it's almost like a 20-person massage. You don't know who is who. There's hands everywhere. It was pretty hot.
Yeah. So if you are a non-monogamous person, this is a great way, one, just to start any play session.
Yeah.
But two, also a good way to celebrate people, right?
Yeah.
So if it's whatever, an anniversary, a birthday, I don't know, whatever the holiday is that you're celebrating, this is a good way to do it. So we used coconut oil, but you could use whatever, massage oil, it could be anything. And you put usually one person, but in this case, because there was 2 birthdays, we put one guy and one girl in the middle of the circle bed, and then everybody else just got in and around them, and then just was massaging them.
Yeah.
And like Lacy said, the girls stuck to the guy, and then girls and guys massaged the girl. Now, obviously, if he was a bisexual male, and that would have been fine, but Dwayne is not. He's straight.
Yeah.
So, and then there was even some oral that happened with Dwayne. A few people gave some oral. I think Mandy might have got some oral too. I don't remember. But I will say, as somebody that's been on the receiving end of that massage, one of the best sensations.
It's really wonderful.
It's like your brain cannot process everybody's hands at
Yeah.
once, right? So if
Mhm.
like one person touches you, you're very aware of like what they're doing and how they're touching you. When that many people are touching you at the same time, you just feel pleasure. And it's like you're not even 100% sure where the pleasure is coming from all the time.
Yes.
It's very, it's not overwhelming, but it's very stimulating.
Yeah. It's hot. It's a great, like, if nobody knows how to make that first move, if you, because we get questions about that, like, what do you do?
Mhm.
This is a great way to kind of start, without being super sexual. I mean, it is sexual, but I don't know, it's just an easy segue into the main event.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then at some point in time, I yelled, "Okay, free for all."
Yeah.
Basically, you guys are done. We're all gonna fuck now.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I said free for all, I was like, no, not free for all. Everybody ask consent, wear condom. Like I kind of was like, free for all now. And then I was like, oh shit, not. I
Mhm.
had to correct myself.
Mhm.
And so we did a little, hey, everybody wear condoms, ask before you touch, and have a good time.
Yeah.
And that led straight into an orgy.
It did. Okay. So who all did you fuck? I don't even really remember.
I don't know. It's been so long. I definitely had some time with Buffy.
Yes.
I had a lot of time with Buffy this weekend, which I'm super full grateful for because we've had
like a dry spell.
misconnections, I would say, right?
Yeah.
So we've like every event that we've gone through, they go to most of our events, and it was always been like, Buffy, I'll see you tonight. And she's like, yeah, Dan, I'll see you tonight. And then we get separated and go in two different directions, and it doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
I had ample time with her this weekend and was very grateful for that.
Someone else, the random girl. You'll have to tell that story.
I mean, I had sex with other people too, though.
No, I just have that you had sex with, but on Friday night, you just had sex with Buffy,
And you.
me, and the random girl.
Was that it?
On that night, yep.
Okay.
That's all my notes say.
Well, that's entirely possible. So then at some point in the night, I think I was laying down. I think you were giving me a blowjob while somebody was fucking you.
Maybe.
And this beautiful blonde they came into the room and they asked.
We met them earlier in the evening. Yeah.
They were podcast listeners.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came in and said, hey, do you mind if we
apologize for calling you random girl? What she was Top Gun. I can't remember. She had a flight suit on.
She did.
They bought it at Party City on the way there.
They did, yeah.
I don't have a good name for her. Blonde girl. We usually we can name people, but so random girl seems a little harsh.
Or, Top Gun Barbie. I don't know.
She was really cute.
Yeah.
It was blonde. She was adorable. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, they come in and asked if it was okay for them to get on the bed, and we told them they were. And then at some point, she asked if it was okay. I actually think her husband asked me if it was okay if she sucked my dick, and then I think I got you were sucking my dick. I think you actually encouraged her to do that.
Maybe.
Anyway, at some point, she started sucking my dick, which was amazing. And then shortly thereafter, she was like, will you fuck me? Do you want to fuck me? I think her husband was like, do you want to fuck her? And I was like, I think you were off doing something else at that point in time. I was like, Lacy, and you were like, yeah,
go for it.
Yes.
And he was an attractive man. I wouldn't mind playing with him. I was just busy or either that or done. I can't really remember.
I don't know. So
because at some point in the night, I just hit a wall. You could fuck until the lights come on. Me, at some, after I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of done. So I can't remember where he caught me, and on that, time period, but he was a good looking guy. I would have been into it. They were a hot couple.
He seemed into his wife having an experience.
And I support him on that journey.
Yeah. So it ended up I fucked her. I think I started missionary style, fucked her like that for a while. And then at some point I flipped her over doggy and said, why don't you suck your husband's dick while I fuck you?
That's nice. A nice way of including him.
Yeah. So it's good.
Yeah.
She squirted multiple times.
Really?
I think she had a good experience. How I judge, and this is a little tip for guys. If you
I know what you're going to say.
If you end a sexual encounter with that person saying thank you multiple times, like
you did your job,
you feel like you did something.
Yeah, you
like
did
you accomplished your goals for the evening. She was very like, oh my God, thank you. And I was like, you are very welcome. Thank you.
That's funny. So for me, I fucked you, of course. I fucked Dwayne again, which we had fucked during the day. I fucked Fire Daddy, who I had fucked the day before. But to add a new one, I fucked Dr. Stower's husband.
You did.
I did.
Multiple times.
Yeah. No, I just did that one time.
Well, I think he fucked you more than once that night, in that session, didn't he?
I don't know.
I thought I counted at least twice, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, so I fucked Dr. Stower. So if you're a fan of the podcast and you listen. I've had a little bit of a crush on him for a while. I thought he was a good looking man. So I was excited. You and Dr. Stowar had been hardcore flirting, and I really thought it was going to be you and her, but she ended up leaving early because they're a sitter.
Right. So if you've listened to the podcast and listened to Dr. Thor, she is not a late night person.
Yeah.
And so they only booked their, I guess, their babysitter till whatever time. So basically the orgy started, we did the massage thing and she had to peace out to go let go of the babysitter, which I'm a little disappointed about.
Yeah. Well, I made up for your
I actually
loss.
texted her. I'm like, how did your husband fuck my wife before I got the, like, me and you have been flirting for 2 years now. How did this happen? But we'll make up for it
Yes,
later. It'll
you
be
will.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be on a cruise together, I think, soon.
Yes. And so, but we were in there for quite a while. Again, it was Mandy's birthday that Wednesday, and her husband had sent her with a list of things that he wanted her to do, or they had agreed upon before. She wanted to beat her all-time high, which I think was 5 guys. So at the end of the orgy session, we were like, okay, Mandy, let's make these dreams come true.
Well, so
And
yeah, the orgy happened naturally.
yeah.
And I think she fucked 1 or 2 guys.
Yes.
But then we're like, hey,
We were like literally getting ready to put our clothes on.
we're like, Mandy, you're only on 2.
Yeah.
You got some work to do here. And so we started recruiting guys to come
Out of our group, not like random
right, to
strangers.
come fuck
Yeah.
Mandy. And then at one point, as she was getting fucked by the 4th or 5th guy, we all started singing happy birthday to her.
Yes. Yes. I think it was a good
And by
day.
this time, a large crowd had gathered outside the windows. And I think they were singing happy birthday to her.
Yeah, it was
So
really good.
This is how you know you're a swinger. If you celebrate your birthday by getting a 20 hand massage and then getting fucked by as many guys as you can, while
Wow.
people sing happy
Yeah.
birthday, while a random crowd of strangers cheer and sing,
While your bosses are in the room.
you might be a swinger. You might be a swinger.
Yes.
And people wonder why we love this lifestyle.
know,
Like
right?
that, if you said that sentence to anybody else, they'd be like, what the fuck?
No fucking way. Yeah.
It sounds unbelievable, but it's 100% what happened.
True. And that was it. We stayed until I think basically they were closed. We kind of maybe dipped out 30 minutes early, made sure everything was cleaned up, and went back to the bed. Went back to the hotel room. I'm sure I made you come, and we crashed out.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. I think now is the perfect time to take a little break and hear from the partners and sponsors of the Swing Nation podcast. And then when we get back, we're going to tell you about the main event, what happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Lacy, the question we get asked on social media and TikTok more than any other question is, how do I find lifestyle people, lifestyle clubs, lifestyle parties, lifestyle cruises, lifestyle events in my area
Yeah.
or around me? How do I connect with people?
You go to stc.com.
The answer to that is go to SDC, SDC.com. That's where you meet people in your area. That's how you found out about parties, events, things like that. They have over 3 million users, one of the biggest lifestyle websites out there, and one of our personal favorites. And if you want to try it completely risk-free and have a free trial to see if if it works for you in your area, you can go to TheSwingNation.info. Go to recommended products and click on the SDC icon, and you're going to get 2 weeks completely free on us to see if it works for you. So go check it out, guys.
Dan, one thing that I love is a responsible swinger.
I love a responsible swinger.
Yes. And we are so excited to partner with I Know My Status. They're an awesome STD test. They're the ones that test the porn stars. So, I mean, if the porn stars are testing one way, we got to be like them, right?
Absolutely. So if you've heard of talent testing, this is the same brand, the same business.
It is.
That's behind I Know My Status. And so if you want to fuck like a porn star, you need to get tested like a porn star. So you need to go to iknowmystatus.com for a limited time. Use code lifestyle and you're going to get 15% off your first test. I promise you, this is the test if you're a swinger that you need to be taking on a regular basis. So go get it, guys.
So all of our content is 100% free.
100%.
You can listen to the podcast for free. All of our TikToks are free, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. It is for free. The only service that we ask you to pay for, if you want to, of course, is our OnlyFans. Yep, that's right. If you want to support Dan and I and our journey through all of this, OnlyFans is really what pays our bills. It's what keeps us being able to be public and be able to make all of these things, because it's honestly, it's really hard with a corporate job to have an OnlyFans. So if you would love to show your support, we would love to have you. If you would like to check out my OnlyFans this month, it is 50% off your first month. If you want to go to TheSwingNation.info, you'll see all the links there.
All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. When we left you before the break, we had just finished an orgy in the circle bedroom. I had sex with a blonde Top Gun, the girl that I had met that night.
And we do not know her name.
I still don't. They messaged us.
Oh, did they?
I know her name.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say it.
But you know it now, but you did not
I did
know
not
her
know it
name.
at the time. She might have said it when she introduced me, but
yeah, of course she did. But we were gonna
right. We met a lot of people that night. Anyway, we just finished that, and then Mandy had set a new high score while a crowd of people sung "Happy Birthday" to her. Which I don't know how many people have done that in their life, but anyway, that brings us to Saturday, which was the main event.
Yeah.
All right. So what happened on Saturday?
So we slept in, of course, and then so if you've never been to one of our events, we try to host vanilla meet and greets outside of the club, really to kind of help break the ice. Another reason, if you're like local and you want to come, but maybe you're not ready for the club, you can always come to one of these. It just gives you a nice place, like on neutral ground where you're in regular clothes and there's no possibility of fucking right there on the table. Kind of, it's an easier way to get to know people.
Agreed.
No pressure. So Friday nights we can never go because we're always at the club setting up, but we always really try to make it to Saturdays. And so this one was at a food hall in Dallas. I do not know the name, but it was super adorable. It kind of reminds me of the food hall assembly in Nashville. Very similar
Vibes,
setup. Yeah. Yes. So we went and ate and met up with a lot of people. Everybody had wonderful food. I felt like no one had any complaints. It was really good. Took us a while to get some tables, but it was really nice to meet people, see some, familiar faces and just chat. And it was lovely.
Yeah, I think I like doing these meet and greets during the day and going out to eat and stuff with people because it's a different environment when you have your clothes on. There's no there's no possibility of play. There's no loud music. I feel like you get to know people a little bit better than you do in the club environment.
I will say though, it's hard to figure out who the swingers are most of the time for me. I mean, usually the people are kind of like looking around, but you're in regular like jeans and a t-shirt or jeans, you're not dressed up. Everyone looks a lot different during the day than they do at night in the club, half dressed.
We need to do what Naughty Jim does and bring bracelets.
Yeah.
And then say, are you with the swing? Did you come here for the meet and greet? And people are like, yeah, then give them a bracelet so that everybody there knows who's who.
Correct. Because it's kind of hard, finding your people among the sea of people. Like there was this one couple and I saw them walking back and forth. And then finally they stopped and talked. And then I started chatting with them, kind of find out they were also podcasters. He had a podcast shirt on. And I didn't even notice that. And, it took me, you don't want to offend anyone. You don't want to say, are you here with the swingers? You don't want to do that. But it's hard to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
So it was good. I enjoyed it. What?
Be like, are you here for the pineapple meet and greet?
Yeah.
How do you ask that? But
I don't know.
I'll ask. I don't
Are you
I'm not
part of the whores?
Yeah.
So after we got done at the food hall, we went.
One thing the couple that we met that kind of stood out to me. Who was that girl that paints with her titties?
And I've been seeing her all over our Instagram. Have you? Smush Prince?
Smush something, yeah. Prince.
Oh, wait. Maybe she doesn't. No, we maybe shouldn't say who she is.
She's public.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good.
she has no problem.
I just didn't want to out anybody.
No,
Okay, good.
They have an OnlyFans. She has an Instagram. She's trying to be, she is an influencer.
She paints pictures with her titties.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, and they were very cool people. I actually really like them. And now it's funny because now their stuff, like when it comes up,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
them.
And we talked to them for a while.
Yeah. And then another couple that I want to note, there was a couple that came from Canada
Yes.
and they were precious.
They're so cute. Yeah.
They were like, they looked so innocent and like, oh, I just was like, we're going to scare the shit out of them. And then like come that night, she showed up in like this little sailor girl
Oh, yeah.
outfit. I was like, okay, never
Yep.
mind.
Yeah.
I should not judge a book by the cover
No.
because
They were
she-
young though.
yeah, she
They were-
looks like whips and chains. She looked like that.
They were young. Yeah, they were like probably in their young 20s, young to mid 20s, but they looked very innocent.
Very
yeah.
innocent.
But she did not look innocent at the club on
No,
Saturday. Yeah.
no, and not at all. But that just shows you it's hard to judge someone
I agree.
during the day that you meet at night with like
Uh-huh.
barely. You know what I forgot to mention?
What?
So we forgot to mention Friday night. Sir Dante and Zora, is that how you say your name? They were there doing demonstrations. So on Friday night, they did wax play and they did the state of Texas. I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that, and I want to make sure that we give them credit because it was really awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So they're like a
I thought of it when I said whips and chains.
yeah, yeah. So we've done this at Tempted with them and the Dom Life and they've actually assisted with the Dom Life. They work together. And Dom Life couldn't make it to Dallas, but they volunteered to come out and do some of the BDSM demonstrations for us at Colette. And so yes, on Friday night they did a wax play demonstration, and then on Saturday night they did a like a impact play demonstration. And yeah, Friday night he actually made a Texas flag on her ass.
Out of wax.
Out of wax. And she has
it was on her back.
On her back.
Yeah.
Well, her ass. All I saw was her ass for most of it, but
okay.
She has a fantastic ass.
Yes.
But yes, very, very. It was amazing. So go check them out.
They're really
Dante
cool.
and Zora.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get off schedule or
Okay.
off path here. So after we went to the lunch hall, we went and stopped at a sex shop. I'm not sure why, but it worked out because you had lost your fanny pack while we were in Atlanta. That was the last event that we went to, and your fanny pack is kind of like your purse.
I would like to call it like, like how Batman has the belt that has all his, his like the tools that he needs to catch bad guys.
Yeah.
My fanny pack has all the tools I need to make women have orgasms and come. So it's like my swinger belt.
Essentials?
Bat belt. Tool belt?
Yeah, tool belt.
Tool belt. My swinger tool belt.
So you have a mini wand. You have condoms. I mean, there's just like a lot of good stuff. Usually even blindfolds.
Sometimes some sex gummies, depending on where we are.
Yeah.
Lube,
Yeah.
massage oil, all the stuff you need to have a good time.
So we realized that as we were packing for Miami. So you did not have a wand, and you were very concerned about having a wand. Because some women need that extra stimulation and you want to help them get there.
They do.
So we went to the sex shop and bought one. They are significantly more if you buy them in the.
I think it was $100.
And it's literally the size of like a bullet.
It was $100.
Yeah. It's tiny. Oh, but it's fine.
To be a superhero, sometimes you gotta pay.
I was like, just buy it.
You gotta sacrifice.
It was fine.
For the people,
So we went back to the room to lay down a little bit. And I don't know if I set an alarm. Did I set it? I don't know. All I know is I woke up and it was 45 minutes until we leave to go to the club.
Correct.
I usually get ready 45 minutes early just to make TikToks.
Well, it's when my alarm went off.
Yeah.
So you usually set your alarm for a good hour before my alarm goes off. Because it takes me all of 30 minutes to get up and get ready and go.
Yes.
It takes you 2 hours.
Well, because I need 30, 45 minutes to make TikToks. It's part of my job, so like I have to account for that. And so I'm like in sheer panic. I have my makeup that I had on from the day, and my hair was so dirty that it wouldn't move. Like whatever curl you put, it's not going to move. It's going to stay. So I jump up, like touch up my makeup, kind of, fix my hair a little bit. I throw on my costume, or my outfit for the night was a mermaid outfit, which I've worn before. I tried to change it up a little bit, but it was like a mermaid skirt with a hot pink top, and I had like a seashell crown.
It's really good. It was hot.
Yeah, it was. I really like it. So I look forward to when we have that theme and I can wear that. So luckily it's something I had done before. I wasn't overthinking it or anything like that. So I was somehow able to get ready in 45 minutes. I didn't get to make any TikToks at all at the hotel. I made them all at the club, which is, I like making some at the hotel, but it's okay.
We survived.
We survived. We got there on time.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically had to reset the club for our mermaid or shipwreck
So we
theme.
tore down all the airplanes and stuff, and then put up a bunch of. We had some glow in the dark jellyfish and stuff that we hung from the ceiling. And there was bubbles and stuff everywhere. That was pretty cool.
Mm. Shout out to Diana for the awesome decorations and helping us get everything set up. And then again to our friends that showed up and blew up balloons and helped with all that. We did have a lot. I felt like I had a lot of extra time. So I made a lot of TikToks, like a lot in my mermaid outfit, which I really liked. We had enough people there that I was able to do that.
Yeah.
And merch was already set up. Merch is kind of my thing. So I always try to make sure. DJ Life of Spice came again while we were like finishing up everything. He's like, I need to make a cool intro.
Yeah. He was like, hey, who's got some mermaid songs? And
It's like when you think of a mermaid, what do you think?
Another shout out, we had a mermaid there.
Yes, we did have a mermaid there. P&W Pineapples, is that their name?
Something like that.
Yeah.
You keep talking, I'll look up.
Yes, because I want to make sure we give them credit. She literally sat in a chair with a mermaid seashell and like a real mermaid tail and took pictures with everybody. It was wonderful. And what was funny is her husband had a mermaid security shirt on and he worked the 360 booth. And so it was pretty cool because they were like right there by each other.
Pineapple_lifestyle_couple on Instagram.
I was thinking someone else.
Yeah, but she's like she does some of those mermaid shows and stuff in real life.
Yeah.
So she had the whole mermaid outfit. And so when we came up with this theme and we're trying to come up, we usually like to have some form of entertainment at the club. And I think Mandy actually suggested, she's like, hey, I know this girl on the server who like does this. And so we got her and she was excellent.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And they're really a cool couple. We talked about that as we drove home.
Yeah, another one of those couples that we probably should have fucked that.
We probably should have.
Misconnection.
Yeah.
But we'll just put that out into the universe. I think they'll be at secrets.
Yeah. So DLFS Boss was asking what mermaid songs, and Dan was like, what about SpongeBob SquarePants? It's like underwater, pineapple under the sea.
She sent him she has like a playlist because she does this.
Yeah.
But she sent him her whole playlist. But then we were talking about SpongeBob, and he's like, that's it. I'm gonna open with SpongeBob. So he literally did this like SpongeBob techno drop thing. You can find it on his TikTok page.
It was really cute.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
And like we all went crazy. It was perfect.
And so we like when we do events, we like bringing the main DJ in, like not have him in the club the whole night. Like we like to have like as the dance floor, usually, 2 or 3 hours into the club being open, usually that's about the time people look to start dancing.
Yeah.
So bringing in, a main event, a headline DJ and having him kind of do an entrance like that is kind of cool.
Yeah, it really is. And he's awesome. So we love having him at anything that we do, just as like a friend and as somebody that's an awesome DJ. So, I'm trying to look and see what like some of the highlights. Somebody called us fake swingers. That was not a highlight, but it's something of notation.
Now I'll say,
oh, the fake swingers are here.
Yeah. So there was over 600 people at the club on Saturday. Some of the people I think just came to Colette's not knowing it was a takeover. Yeah. They just were coming, thinking it was a normal night. And then I think they realized, okay, it's a takeover. And then they realized, oh, it's Dan and Lacy.
Those fake swingers.
99% of the people were loved it. There was a few people I think.
They think we make up these stories?
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
I kind of wanted to see who they were. Because I wanted to be like, did you see how fake we were last night when we were fucking all of those people?
I brush all that off.
I do too.
Lacy, you've gotten a lot better. But sometimes comments like that rub you the wrong way. Yeah. I don't. You can call us whatever you want. It's not.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better for some reason. Like the fact that they were there and they said it out loud, like in front of people. I don't know, because one of our friends heard it.
Yeah.
But it was very, very busy. It felt like I was like every time I was like turning, I was like chatting with someone, which I appreciate very, very much. The playrooms were completely packed.
Yes.
Like we made
the dance floor. I had a hard time just getting on the dance floor. Usually we are like front and center or like in the middle of the dance floor, fans clacking. You could not, it was a struggle just to get to the dance floor. Which it's good. It was great, but almost too much for me in some ways.
Yeah. And at some point on Saturday night, I felt like my energy kind of like
I felt the same way.
depleted. And I don't know if it's just because like our regular life is pretty busy. And then we had also been like going for this was now like our third or fourth day.
Yeah.
I knew we were having to leave in the morning to like drive that long haul back there. But at some point I was like, okay, I'm done. And I don't like even I was like trying to dance. I was also pretty sober. So maybe like if I had been like had him to drink or two more, maybe I could have kept that energy going. I don't know really like what it was, but I definitely felt like a shift in like my I don't know, energy level. I was like,
Right.
okay, I'm over it a little. But of course I was still down to fuck. So we ended up just playing in the VIP area, which Southern Bella had booked because it was her and Fire Daddy's wedding anniversary that Monday. So she had booked it and we were like, can we put our stuff in there? And she was like, absolutely. She let like basically all of our friend group, which is her friend group, keep their stuff in there.
Yeah. So we tried to do the circle bed thing again. So we got our friends together and we're like, we're gonna do the circle bed.
Yeah.
We went in there and like it was full. Like there was like 6-8 couples already on the circle bed. And so like and the whole playroom was basically full. So we're like, well, this isn't gonna work. But luckily, because Southern Bella had the VIP, there is a bed in the VIP and a couple couches that you could play on. And so we just kind of retreated back there to play.
Yeah. Well, and there was also a milking table.
Yes.
And Mandy's husband, Nick, also was really he's really into milking tables, and that must be a male thing because I've never heard of a milking table in my life, but yet every man in that room knew exactly what it was.
So what is a milking table?
It looks kind of like a massage table. It's the best way I can describe it. It has a hole where your dick would go out.
Right.
Like you basically lay on it and your dick goes through the hole. But it's not a super tiny hole or anything. It's, a good size hole.
Yes.
And girls get under the bed and because there's like it's almost like you're not on the floor. There's like a
table, like a second layer. It's like a double stack, like a double decker
I'm not
bus.
sure if you're supposed to give blowjobs or if you're supposed to do hand jobs. To me, that's not a super comfortable way to give a blowjob.
I think, from my understanding and the porn and stuff I've seen, I think milking tables are mostly for hand jobs.
Yeah, which would make sense if you sat like on a little stool or something and almost like I'm doing the motions. The milking, milking like a cow.
That's my understanding. Now,
have you actually seen this in porn? Like, is this like a thing that
I've probably seen it. I've watched a lot of porn. So yes, I'm sure I've seen it in porn. Exactly how it was used, I don't remember. But anyway, Lacy was like, I wonder if girls can use a milking table.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually sat on it like you would a toilet seat, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then Dwayne got underneath it and milked you.
Yeah. And so
I'm pretty sure he got you to squirt. So I guess it is possible and it did work.
But then you got on it and as well as Dwayne and some of the girls took turns. I did not partake. I don't know. I was like, somebody else can do it.
Now, I will say, from the male perspective of using a milking table, it is amazing.
Really?
Well, because you think most of the time when you're getting a blowjob or a hand job or something, like guys always usually are standing up. Like usually, I mean, it's like work. I felt like I could fall asleep almost. Like I am completely laid down, completely comfortable, and pleasure is happening to my dick. It's kind of like perfect.
Yeah.
So I wish we had done more of that.
Yeah, it was.
If it's ever my birthday, how we did the hand massage thing. I want like a 50 hand milking table experience, or 10 hand, 5 hands, whatever.
Honestly, that would take that massage to the next level. Combine the two.
Oh, if they were rubbing your back too?
Yes. So coconut oil.
Yes.
Somebody's on the dick. Somebody's on the back, the legs, the shoulders.
I want to go to Colette's on my birthday, get the VIP room just for that experience.
Yeah. Maybe we just need to get us a milking table and just be the traveling milking table.
Yeah.
But I had never, this is like so brand new to me.
Yeah.
So then we just kind of ended up like fucking like in the room. It was definitely not, like, it was kind of like slow and steady.
Me and you were like, let's fuck. And everybody else was kind of like, So me and you, we're always, at least I'm always the first naked person on the bed trying to fuck people. So I got on the bed and everybody was kind of like, I think kind of like not sure.
Yeah.
And then I think you got on the bed, we fucked, and then
I fucked Dwayne again.
Dwayne and Buffy joined us,
Yeah.
and you fucked Dwayne, I fucked Buffy. And then Southern Bella we had met a couple unicorns 2 years ago when we were there.
Yeah. We had met them at Cowboys.
Right. And ended up bringing them to the club.
And Southern Bella is kind of known for this.
She's a unicorn whisperer.
Like, I don't know. Like, when people ask me how to find a unicorn, go talk to her.
Yes.
She has them, like, they follow her around. I don't know what.
She comes to secret. She'll have 2 or 3 staying in her room.
I'm like, crazy. Where the hell did you get these? But she had 2 we had met
the last time
2 years ago,
and they were back,
and they came back. And I know you fucked one of them.
I fucked one. Yeah. I would have very much liked fucking both of them.
Yeah.
But one of them was very occupied for most of the night. Yeah. Fire Daddy had one of them pretty well occupied, so I fucked the other one. But they were both young 20-year-old, and
mid-20s. Yeah, mid-20s.
Very attractive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't mean 20 years old exactly. Yeah. They were in their 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I fucked the blonde one. Mm-hmm. And he had the brunette, and she squirted all over my dick. And again, lots of thank you. So I think that was a good experience for her. It was definitely a good experience.
Yeah.
For me, but there's other things. The Sir Dante was in there with his.
I was going to talk about
partner.
That. So after a Friday night, watching, him and her were in the circle bedroom with us.
Yes.
He fucked Mandy. He fucked his wife. And honestly, he fucked a lot like you. Like, there were certain things that he was doing that, like, caught my attention. Like, ladies, if you've been in an orgy, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you can usually tell when somebody fucks and it's good. You know, you're like, oh, damn, you like stop and watch. Like, he had done that a couple of times. And even me and her had chatted about it. I was like, he did the things that, like, Dan does, which is a huge turn on. So in the privacy of our hotel room, I tell Dan, I'm like, I kind of want him to fuck me. That was hot. You know, like,
I wish he'd fuck me.
Yeah. I was like, because, like, in the orgy setting, I probably could have gotten close and, like, chatted him up and made it happen, but I didn't. I get really nervous around someone new. So in the privacy of our hotel room, I tell Dan this. So we are literally in this VIP room. I'm butt ass naked. And at this point, I'm pretty done. I'm going to be honest. I was like, Dan had been fucking on and on. I had fucked Dan and Dwayne. And at that point, I was sort of over it. But Dan, like, says, Lacy wants to fuck the Dom guy. And I was like, Dan, like, I couldn't even look at the guy. I felt like, I felt like kind of an idiot. So I'm like a grown, mature woman who fucks guys for fun. Like, I should be able to, like.
It was so cute. You couldn't even look at him. You were like hiding your face.
Because you just called me out. Yeah. Like, you just straight up threw me under the bus.
I think he was fucking his wife or girlfriend. I think they're married. But anyway,
I'm assuming they were married. I don't know.
They had paused for a minute. And I'm like, well, if you need somebody else, my wife would love to fuck you. And
he looked at talking you about it last
and you
night.
Like ran away. Like,
I did not run. First of all, I was like, oh my God, Dan, I am so embarrassed.
But I think by your reaction, he didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like, if I had been like, I don't know, I was in a weird spot because I was like kind of over it and wishing I was at home in my own bed, and then.
But then you were thinking about how he was fucking.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know. I got embarrassed, and then I got embarrassed because I was embarrassed. I don't know. I'm like thinking, you're a grown-ass woman. Just, if that's what you want, go ask him, anyway. But so I finally just ended up putting my hoodie on because I was freezing. That VIP room was either 100 degrees or 55 degrees, no in between.
Yep.
So at this point, they had the air on, and I was absolutely freezing. So I ended up putting my hoodie on.
And you didn't fuck him?
I didn't fuck him. Maybe someday. I got to get over
You totally could have fucked him, though. Had you not been so shy.
No, he might not have been into me.
Okay.
He might not have. I don't know. I think they were both very sweet. And
you're into Lacy and you suspect that Lacy is into you. You have got to make the move.
Yeah.
You will never make the move.
No.
She's never, ever going to make the move. You have got to make the move. And I don't know if this guy fully comprehended that.
If I like you, I will probably ignore you, like, completely. Like,
yeah, she's like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I get really frustrated myself about it. So I'm like, grow a fucking pair.
And I've done this to you several times. Like on the Bliss cruise, there was that really.
You do it to me.
What's his name?
DJ Frisky or Frisky Business or whatever.
Yeah, you're into him. I think he's into you. I'm like, my wife wants to fuck you, and he's like, cool. And you're like, help, and run away.
I'm like, I didn't say that. I don't know.
Then you're like, Dan, let's go. I'm like, what? Why? Like,
okay, let's get the fuck out of here. But I do.
that is the opposite of.
I know. Huh?
Then guys don't know what to do with that. They're like, was he making that up? Does she actually
Well,
like me? I
do
can't.
like you. If Dan does that, I do actually. I have given him the green light, but maybe I need to quit telling my husband like my dirty little secrets. Okay, so
Well, no, because if you didn't, you'd never get fucked by anybody new.
So I do want to shift gears a little because I want to talk about an incident that happened. We talked about it a little bit last week on the podcast with I Know My Status,
Yeah.
but this happened in a room with us, and it's been pretty impactful for me. I can't speak for you, but for me, it's been pretty impactful as far as like what I would do if I was in this situation. So there was two couples that were engaging in the room, and I mean it was hot. People were sucking dicks. It was definitely leading towards like a full swap moment. And I was not in the room, so I had walked out a little bit, but I'd come in, like we were coming in and out during all of this. And at some point in the play session, one of the couples revealed their status. So they were HSV2 positive, but they are medicated. They have no outbreaks. Like they're doing all the things right. But they wanted to make sure that they disclose that, even though there's like a very small chance so they could pass this, they still need to do the right thing and disclose it. And from my understanding, the other couple was like, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very kind,
Right.
very, very kind, totally respectful, but just like kind of in the moment, like, I'm assuming like we don't know what to do, no, thank you. And that has really kind of shook me because I've talked to you about it. The person that one of the couples that were in this was somebody that I genuinely know, genuinely care about. And so I'm like, what if that would have happened to us? It was a very, like, you hear about this, right? You hear about people talking about it and you see it, but you don't, this is the first time that we've been in the middle of it. And it kind of made me realize, like, what would we do?
And we can talk about this right now, but my personal, and this is, everybody's going to feel different. And so judge me if you want to. I personally feel if somebody that I know, and I know they have HSV2 or 1 for that matter, which 80% of you have HSV1, but if I knew somebody had HSV2 and they revealed that to me, I think as long as I know you, right? So if I know you and I know you're doing
this case,
right.
There were just a couple that
Right.
had met at a club and we're about to do a full swap. Like this is not somebody that we've gotten to know,
Right.
In
and so I think in that situation, had a stranger that I didn't know
Yeah.
revealed that to me, I probably would pass because I don't know you well enough to know if you were taking the right precautions.
Yeah, are
to
you
protect.
telling the truth? Are
Right.
you actually on the Yes, correct.
Right.
Yes.
So in my situation, what if I knew somebody and I trusted them enough to know that they were managing that disease with the right medication and doing the right thing, I would feel comfortable playing with them. If I don't know you and you're a complete stranger, honestly, you're probably not even going to tell me. But if you did tell me, I would have to pass because I don't trust you enough to know if you're doing the right thing.
I will say I was super proud of both couples because I felt like, given the circumstances, that they handled it well.
I agree.
One person was a little emotional, but honestly, if it was me in that situation, I probably
Just such a hard
would have also been emotional. So there's no judgment there. But the couple went up to him, after it was over and they talked about it and had an open and honest conversation. And so I'm proud of everyone for handling it well. It was a very good lesson for me. And I just really wanted to talk about this because I hope this sparks conversations with other couples. So if you're listening to us, go back and talk to your partner about like, what would you do if that happened to you? Because the odds are if you're in a club, someone has HSV2 there. Let's just be real. They do.
A large amount of people there have HSV1 for sure.
Yeah.
And they probably don't know it.
Yeah.
There's probably a good amount of people there that have HSV2. Most of the people that have HSV2 probably don't know it.
Yeah.
Right. So when somebody knows they have it and is managing that disease properly, you're probably better off playing with that person than you are the random strangers that don't know their status.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
But I do also get that if you don't know them and you don't trust them and you don't know if they're
you don't know them from anybody
managing
else.
their medication properly, I can see saying, hey, I just don't know you well enough this is too much of a risk. Let's get to know each other better.
Mhm.
And then maybe I'm open to playing in the future.
Yeah.
I think that's the right response.
No, I think so too.
To a stranger.
Yeah, I think so too. Because honestly, if somebody prior to this conversation, if somebody would have asked this, I would have been like,
Dan.
you know, and I don't know. I want to be respectful, and I want to also show a lot of respect for that person who knows their status. They're open and honest, and they're communicating it to you and doing the right thing. That's
the right
that
thing.
is
That's
the right
what we
thing.
want everybody
Yes.
to do.
Yeah,
And if we're being completely honest, the majority of the people are not doing that right now.
correct.
Right. So I hate that the people that are doing what's right are kind of getting punished for it.
Yeah.
It drives me personally crazy.
Yeah.
But I also understand, especially in this situation, I understand where everybody was coming from. So yeah, great conversation.
So I just wanted to make sure we talked about that. That was really, really important for me to talk about. So after all the playing was done, all the conversations were had, we Colette closes at 4 a.m. Oh my God. Y'all, what time did we get there? Like 6:30, 7?
Yeah.
We were there for so long. And so we kind of just hung out in that back room, kind of waited for people to kind of trickle out. And once it was kind of dead, we started breaking down stuff. We ended up leaving there around 4, would you say?
Yeah, I don't think I got, packed the trailer, parked it. We probably didn't get into bed till 5:30.
No, that's wrong.
What?
We went to Whataburger.
Oh shit. Yeah.
We went to what?
And that took like 30 minutes.
Because none of us had dinner because we got there so early.
Yeah.
So no, it was a full ass hour.
Yeah.
So Dan's pulling like, no, you're not pulling the trailer, but he were like, I can't eat and drive. So we ended up going in. It took us like a solid hour to get this. And by the time we got it, I was over it. I was like, just get me to the hotel.
Yeah.
So I mean, the sun was coming up at that point.
Yeah.
And we had to check out at 11. And so Dan and I got in an argument, or not an argument, like a married person argument. He wanted to get an extended checkout. But we had a 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we're leaving at 11. We left at 11, but we did not get home until like 1 a.m.
And Lacy slept while I drove home.
That is not true. I slept the last 30 minutes.
The last 3 hours.
The last 30 minutes.
But anyway, we had a great time at Club Colette. Getting short on time. But huge shout out to Colette, the management there. Melissa, you're amazing. John and Jackie, who are the owners, absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Everybody that came out from the Dallas area, we met so many new people, so many amazing people. We hope you guys come out to another event in the future. Come down, party with us at Secrets. We are going to be back at Colette clubs throughout Texas, all the locations. We might even do a New Orleans event. So stay tuned for that. If you're in the Texas area and you guys want to party with us, we'll be back. But in the meantime, we got events happening all over the country. Next weekend, we're going to be at Miami Velvet. That's February 21st and 22nd for a takeover there.
We'll be at Hollover Beach on the 22nd. So if you're local and maybe can't come out to the club, but you can get away during the day for a couple hours, we will be out there having a great time.
Yeah, so if you're in the South or the Florida area, come party with us in Miami. If you're up north somewhere and it's fucking cold, come to Miami.
Yeah.
The weather is looking beautiful.
Listen, I cannot wait. It's rained 4 inches here in 2 days. I need to get in shorts immediately.
All right. So we hope to see you at Miami Velvet, February 21st and 22nd. Tickets for that are swingersociety.net, swingersociety.net. All right. I think with that, we're out of time. Anything else for the Swing Nation listeners, Lacy?
That's it.
All right. In a world full of apples,
Be a pineapple.
be a pineapple, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
If you've enjoyed our podcast and want to support us, leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. If you want to see more of our content, you can find links to Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, and more in the show notes. Come join the conversation with us and other swinger content creators on our Swinger Society Discord server. If you have questions or feedback, email them to us at TheSwingNation@gmail.com. Make sure you head on over to TheSwingNation.net and keep up to date on all things Swing Nation. We thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.